Just a quick reminder, guys, if you want to see me do warm weather testing, summer temperature testing of the new Volvo EX90, Polestar 3, Polestar 4, Mercedes G580, and other new electric cars that have come this winter and this fall, you can support my trip to California this winter. In January or February, the plan is to go to California, me and a videographer and maybe an editor, to do warm weather testing of all of these electric cars. There's a GoFundMe down below if you want to support the trip, and all funds donated are going to be used towards paying the cost of the trip. So link down below, and after a few weeks of collecting, we've already gained like 25% of the trip. So help us get to 100%. Click the link down below. Thank you very much. In this video, we are putting the new Porsche Macan 4 through one of the hardest tests we do here on this channel. The main goal of the long trip test is to cover the more than 600 kilometers or almost 400 miles with the shortest charging time possible. Because it's winter and it's cold, will the Macan manage with only one charging session? How will the route planner cope with the cold? Will it over or underestimate the consumption, and will we be able to trust the route planner? What other issues and problems will we uncover, if any at all? Those are some of the questions we will answer today. It is a beautiful day to be out doing the long trip test in the Macan 4. But I have to say, as much as I am enjoying myself, as much as I like this car, it's superb to drive. The interior is awesome. I even like the way it looks on the exterior, especially in this color, ice gray metallic. Doing 120 kilometers an hour, even on studless winter tires, which are arguably the most quiet tire compound you can ride on, it is a bit noisy. And I'm suspecting that if this car was on summer tires here in Norway, 21-inch wheels, as this car's equipped with, yeah, it would have been a lot louder. So my recommendation, if you're looking at one of these, go out and test drive it, because depending on where you live, depending on the tire compound, you're going to experience different levels of tire noise. Here in Norway or in Northern Europe, our asphalt is very coarse to be able to handle cold weather, snow and ice, and just harsh conditions. So after 45 minutes, 50 minutes on the road, our average consumption is right below 27 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which may be high, but it is cold outside today, around 1 degree Celsius now, but we've seen temperatures as low as -3, and I'm suspecting that it's just gonna get colder and colder because we're in mid-December. The sun is just above the tree line at 1 o'clock, and it's probably gonna set before we get to our turnaround point in Kristiansand, which is our halfway point, at around 3:30. And also another thing, we're now dividing the chart into different types of temperature. So cold weather, mild weather, warm weather, hot weather, etc. So today, because of the temperature span, this is going to be cold weather testing, and at the end we're going to have the chart comparing cars in the same temperature category, so you guys can compare the results easier between the cars. I wanted to do this for a long time, but because we haven't had, that much test data, it just hasn't been possible. But now, because we have almost 100 cars tested in the range test and in this long trip test, we can now do it. So the record for cold weather testing is 14 minutes. I think if we're lucky, we may be able to match that today, maybe even beat it. We'll see. Once we get to our turnaround point in Kristiansand, we'll have a little bit more information as where to stop and charge and how far we'll be able to go before stopping to charge. According to the wind map, we should be pushing against a headwind of 2 to 3 meters per second on our way down to Kristiansand. But because the roads on our way southwest are a mixture of motorway and 2-lane highways, the average speed should drop, and so should the consumption. As we got deeper and deeper into the test, the Macan just got better and better, soaking up the miles and the open road. Okay guys, we've hit really bad traffic. To go the remaining 2.8 kilometers, Google Maps is saying 16 minutes. Yeah, usually it isn't this bad so far out. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn around here, 2.7, so that's like, we're gonna loop around here. So I'm guessing if we do 5 or 6 kilometers, we'll be, we'll be good. So I think if we start heading back towards Oslo now, and then somewhere along the way we just loop back and forth to compensate for that 5 or 6 kilometers lost, we'll be good. That would be the same as going into Kristiansand, because sitting in that traffic, we're just gonna move very slowly. It's not gonna benefit me, it's not gonna benefit you. We're gonna have a lower average speed. So it's better for the test, it's better for the results to make this more comparable with the other cars. So just turn around here, we're gonna save a whole bunch of time, and then just do a loop of 5 or 6 kilometers and we'll be good. Okay, we're now headed back towards Oslo, and let's take a look at the numbers. So we're here with 20% stated charge. Average consumption is 25.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So it's actually gone down. So I'm not sure where we're gonna charge. I don't think we're gonna be able to go to Ionity in Brokelandsheia because it is cold today. We have less range, we have higher consumption than if it was 10 degrees Celsius. So I don't think we're gonna be able to go there. I'm gonna find out off camera, and yeah, I'll see you guys in about a second and we'll know then where we're gonna stop and charge. This is where we're gonna stop, at the Uno X chargers here in Lillesand. So we're about 10 kilometers up the road from the Ionity chargers in Lillesand. So just going a little bit deeper into the battery pack, giving us a little bit faster charging speed. Okay, so we're now at 10% state charge, which is 3% more than the car said we were gonna ride with. Battery is at 22 degrees Celsius. We put the charger into the navigation system, which means the car should precondition. And also average consumption is now 25.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and we covered 329 kilometers. A curious thing here is there's no readout for the kilowatts we're gonna get if we connect now. That is a feature that has been with this car since it was launched. It also came with the facelifted Taycan, but for some reason in this car, it's not there. That is weird. So it's so easy now with all the chargers, all the new chargers that were installed like after 2024 that have a normal chip reader. So now you can just use your payment card, just tap it, super easy. You don't have to, fiddle around with apps. Though apps are nice. Like I still use some of the apps I've used always, like the Elton charging app, to find out where the chargers are, if they're vacant or not. But yeah, just super easy now, just using your payment card, just tapping it. Yeah, super simple. So this car has a peak charging speed of 270 kilowatts. Hopefully we'll get close to that. I don't know, maybe the battery's a little bit cold at 22 degrees Celsius. We'll have to see. And how many percent are we gonna go to? Well, I'm estimating it's gonna be about 70 is enough for us to get back to where we started. And also something that we've started to do with these long trip tests is that we correct the charging time at the end of the video. So in theory, it's like we would arrive with 0% stated charge. And that means if we, for example, arrive with 5%, we're gonna deduct the time it took to go to that extra 5% in charging. So for example, if we charge to 70 here, we arrive with 65%, we're gonna deduct that time to go from 65 to 70 if we arrive with 5% stated charge, meaning that all cars can be more accurately compared against each other. So 11% stated charge, now we're only getting 210 kilowatts. That is interesting. That may be a mistake on my part because this car doesn't have that kilowatt readout. Maybe I started preconditioning the car a little bit too late because I was using Google Maps on my way down. So that may be a little bit of user error, but maybe that won't have any effect on the charging time at all. We'll have to see. It turns out the car wanted us to charge to 82% to have an estimated state of charge of 10% on arrival. I disconnected at 80% when the car said we'd arrive back in Oslo with 7% battery to spare. As the sun set, the evening approached and the temperature started to drop, so did the estimated percentage the car predicted we would arrive with. And once that prediction hit 0%, I started to get a little nervous. As we reached the last big uphill, about 20 kilometers out, we hit turtle mode and things started to look very grim. We're currently at 3% state charge and the car says we don't have any range left. So we are way into the reserve. Yeah, we're in turtle mode, and in turtle mode going uphill, no power at all. But here, where it is downhill, we can actually accelerate. Let's see what happens when we go into the right lane when it's flat. Are we able to maintain this speed? Yeah, we are. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. You can't go uphill at 100 kilometers an hour, but you're still able to accelerate slight uphill at 80 kilometers an hour. So it is usable. So let's just stop here in the roundabout. There are no cars coming, but let's just do a stop here because we're going to the left. It creeps, so that's good. Let's see if we can get into this gap. Yeah, I mean, that's no problem at all. So it's only on the motorway going uphill a strong incline. So this capacity seems to be usable down to 0% stated charge, I'm guessing, at least 3%. Audi are giving away a total of 1 million kroner in their Christmas calendar this December. Every weekday a new slot is opened and a new winner is announced. The prize given will be used to pay down any debt you may have, because the Audi app is all about saving you money and you becoming the boss of your own economy. Download the Audi app today and use the referral code LRIFA to get double bonus points this December. You'll find the link down below. Now, on with the video. We made it, guys, even though I was a little bit skeptical, a little bit worried that we weren't going to be able to make it here because the car, the prediction of the route planner kept ticking down and down. We left when the car said we were going to arrive here with 7% stated charge, and it just kept ticking down and down and down, all the way down to 0. But I did my calculations where I take the usable battery capacity, I divide it by the consumption, I subtract 3% for discharging and heat losses, and every time I did calculations, there was a buffer to be able to get here above a 0% state of charge. So there seems to be like a safety margin built into the navigation system where, you know, you don't push the car too far. And I guess that is okay, but I just wish it was a little bit more accurate, because when we arrived at our charging stop, the car said we were going to arrive there with 7% stated charge, but we arrived there with 10% stated charge. So I don't know, maybe it's the calibration, because this car and this platform is brand new, as we've seen with other cars that have, you know, a built-in route planner, that it takes a little bit of time for the cars to collect the data and them to, you know, refine the algorithms after these cars are being used in the real world. But okay, guys, we're right here with 3% state of charge, and as you guys saw, even going down low in the battery percentage, despite my fears, it is actually usable. It was just, you know, going up on up Lier-bakkene from Drammen and to the top there, where you know the incline is quite severe. So I don't think you can expect that from many cars, like being able to go 100, 110 kilometers an hour up those hills, because once we were going flat and just right here in the roundabout, also like coming to a complete stop, there's actually a little bit of punch. So, but just be wary, once you know, hit like 6-7% stated charge, the car does go into turtle mode, and if you're on the Autobahn, you're not going to be able to go like 120, 130, 140 kilometers an hour. You're able to do that with other cars, so that differs depending on the car. So we are right here with 3% stated charge. We charge to 80%, and if we subtract, you know, those 3%, that means we charge to like 77% stated charge, and that took 23 minutes. So not a new record today. I think this is the 3rd or 4th best charging time, and probably the best charging time considering how cold it was, or the 2nd best charging time. So, you know, with the Q6 E-Tron, which is built on the same platform, when it was warm, we set a new record when we tested that car. That time was beaten by the Taycan 4S facelift version, but that time was like under 9 minutes. If you saw my range test in between this, the Polestar 3, and also the Q6 E-Tron, go watch that, because that may put it a little bit more into perspective, like what we can expect from this car. But considering the conditions, charging for 23 minutes, and also, you know, maybe user error, but because this car doesn't have, you know, that real-time readout, I wasn't thinking about maybe preconditioning the car earlier. So the peak charging speed we got was like right above 200 kilowatts. So maybe if we were able to hit that 270, if I preconditioned the car earlier, yeah, maybe we could have done it even faster, maybe in like 20 minutes, 19 minutes. But either way, it's still a good time for being winter, for it being cold. Now it's -4 degrees Celsius outside. We've seen as cold as -5 degrees as I predicted. Once the sun, set, it was gonna get colder. So guys, those are the results of the Macan 4S in the long trip test. Let me know down below what you guys think. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys there and goodbye.